Inside the Samuel L. Jackson interview with 60 Minutes correspondent Steve Kroft. He's the kind of actor, who wouldn't want to hang out with Samuel L. Jackson?
Right.
Your interview lets us all do that.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay.
You got like 8 pages of stuff.
I know, man.
I am not that interesting.
He's very funny.
Okay, go and all.
Shrewd. And he's also he's really a great actor, which he doesn't always get credit for.
Sometimes he's the best part of sort of a bad movie.
Quite often he's the best part of a bad movie.
I've been in movies where I know that I did things that would have made the movie better and they didn't make it to the movie. One of the first movies I was in Hollywood, and I remember first day I got there was the first scene I did on that movie. And when I finished doing that scene, everybody on set was crying. Everybody was like, oh my God. It was like, I nailed it. And I get there to watch the movie and it's gone. It's like...
In your interviews, we see all of his performer's tools on display. Mm-hmm. We see the way he uses his body, his voice.
For real? Really?
His facial expressions, his story. His eyes.
He's really a performer. He's an entertainer.
Just innately.
Which makes him, yes, innately. And he spends a lot of time trying to figure out how he can make such and such a character different while still sort of having the, the Sam Jackson persona.
Okay, this is Samuel Jackson at comic book store.
Let's go. Comic books have changed a bit since the day.
He's a big reader of comic books. It's just a constant source of ideas for him.
Mom and pop store, really nice people. Hey man, good to see you.
And you went to a comic book store with him.
So you never outgrew him?
No, I did not. They give me great ideas for interesting character quirks that I want to have in a movie.
Give me an example.
There's this one series called 100 Bullets, and it's some interesting criminal guys in there that have interesting traits. And I think one of them had a lisp at one of the things, so I stole that for Kingsman.
I have trouble understanding you people sometimes. Y'all talk so funny.
He talked about playing a bad guy and making bad guys likable.
Basically, bad guys don't wake up thinking they're bad guys. So you try and keep people as human as you possibly can keep them, like Jules in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, he's a killer, but when you first meet those two guys, you don't really know they're killers. They're just two guys in a car talking about a trip in Europe. What do they call a Big Mac?
Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac. They're just ordinary humans that do ordinary human things until you incite them.
When we got into this thing with the best intentions, really. I never...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue.
I always think that my facility for language comes from a lot of different things. One, I read a lot. And two, when I was very small, we didn't have television. So my grandfather and I listened to radio drama on the radio. So I learned to hear stories and how to make the words kind of flow and roll over each other and do stuff. And it was always fun. And my grandfather would make me tell him stories. He would tell me stories and then he would make me tell him a story.
I think that he says that the one thing he tries to do is always figure out what the audience wants, what they want to see. He's interested in continuity and not doing anything that the audience is not going to buy.
Right, because it will take them out of the story.
Yeah.
So when sometimes a director asks me to do something stupid, I'll go, I'm not going to do that because there's somebody in the audience that's going to sit there and go, that's stupid, because that's what I do. It's like somebody asked me one day, don't stop and pick up that guy's gun. Just keep going, because I killed him. And I'm like, well, I got a revolver. That's an automatic weapon. So I'm in a gunfight.
Need an upgrade.
I need an upgrade. So I'm sorry, I'm just not going to leave a good weapon laying around on the floor so an audience person can go.
Control it. You want to control it.
I want it to make sense.
We're good.